Yo, what's up, traders? Today's Sunday. Thanks for watching. The market's open here in Forex Markets in 2.5 hours. I am your host of this episode, Ronan, and I want to talk about, we got some big moves coming in the market right now. We're coming into 2020. Let me adjust this a little bit. There we go. We're coming into 2020, and I want to give you some of my sleeper setups and currency pairs to watch as we are on the precipice of a massive reversal right now. There's no other way to really go about it or look at it. This is happening, and we want to look like so. Of course, I've been talking about gold a bunch in my videos. Been talking about silver. Been talking about the yen, and so what are we looking at? We're looking at Euro USD, we're looking at AUD USD, we're looking at NZD, right? These are your main currencies that we're going to be looking at, but you're typically looking at, right? And but once this reversal does happen, there's a couple of the more exotic pairs and exotic currencies that I think are going to be great buying opportunities right now, and I'm just going to give you a list, right, of three of them that I think is going to be great trades. So, but first off, this is my rendition of the S&P 500, and really, you don't have to be, I don't have to be Van Gogh to get this chart right. I mean, look, because it's just basically that's pretty accurate, and in other words, it's going straight up with a couple pullbacks. But the thing is, we've had this big pullback, and this was December of last year, December 2019, and we've been in a massive bull market. Like, to say it's historical would be accurate because this is an all-time high. So the thing is, everything has come together. We're in this big perfect storm. We're in a huge amount of debt. Donald Trump's about to be, or has been impeached. I don't think what happens in the Senate's really going to matter with that. Still, a bunch of tensions in China, and the global economy is slowing down tremendously. And we're at the precipice. And look, we're going into new election 2020. If a Democrat gets elected, it's my political beliefs aside. A Democrat gets elected. What is more than likely going to happen is those massive tax cuts for the wealthiest companies. They're going to get pulled back. They're going to get rolled back, and those tax cuts that happened were the cause of this, right? Because Amazon didn't pay any taxes. They're not paying taxes, so an income tax or whatever. Oh, I forgot to plug in microphone. So hopefully you all can hear me a little bit better. These big corporations are not paying taxes. We get a Democrat in office, those tax cuts are going to get pulled back. Bigger taxes are going to get levied against the wealthiest people, and that's going to cause the shares of the company to drop, right? Because what's going to happen is the company has to, all this money that was going into the company itself is going to go to the government, right? So I'm not saying it's a good thing, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but that would be, if we make it to the election and Trump wasn't reelected, then that would be a big thing to consider. But I don't think we're going to make it anywhere close before we get some sort of pullback and potentially a correction. So this brings me to going back to our exotic currencies. We have this situation here, and I teach this in my training. I just updated my training as well for free to all my members. The uploads are going to be coming soon. So that being said, I have my dog under here under the table. This is a throw over. It's a throw over line, if you can even read my writing. Throw over line. So That means, we've broken out, broken above it, similar to a breakout. But the thing about this situation is, if we get the pullback, if we get this, and we're at the first of the year, there's the probability that some of the biggest funds, the biggest investors in the big money that have been putting money into the market, driving the price higher and higher and higher, the chances that they take profits, that they take because they got to take their profits out of the market too. The chances that they do that are very, very high. Just think about yourself. If God, I wish next time I'm going to be buying the dip at the very bottom and just holding it for like a year. But had I done that and I held this long, once we got up here, yeah, I'd be thinking about taking my profits out of the market, cashing the check, and going on a big ass vacation. So once that does happen, and it's gonna happen. It is gonna happen, and the factors are piling up, and the reasons that it should happen are really by far are outweighing the reasons why they should not. So once that does happen, just to switch it up here, and we get a move to retest this line, retest the throwover line. If we get back inside this throwover line, this is going to be the big signal for upcoming correction. And once that does happen, so I talk about safe havens a lot. I love trading correlations, like trading correlated markets. It's my big strategy among many others, but it's the one thing that ties everything together. The market is a giant cash flow bubble that just flows from one thing to the next. And once this happens, we are going to see a lot of money going back into, of course, gold, yen, gold and yen, right? And what is you got to ask yourself, what's the big investment currency? That would, of course, be US dollar, right? So, I mean, when shit is going to hell in a handbasket, excuse my language, people are going to want to buy dollars. And so right now we have the US dollar Mexican peso has been at not all-time lows, but it's at some very, very serious lows because we've have this. So Mexican peso is a risky investment. It pays off well if you can make this bet, and people have been cashing in on it. But once the risk appetite comes out of the market and investors change their mindset into a more risk adverse way of thinking, they're going to want to sell these pesos, and they're going to be buying dollars back, right? Because they're like, oh man, I mean, this is not as stable as the US dollar. And so people will be coming out of the stock market. They're going to be going into gold, which they already are. Gold is already going higher, so that's why the likelihood. I talk about this in many other videos about why investors would be like, hey, wait a minute, what's going on here with the market? So, but they'll also be going into the yen, and they will also be going into US dollars. So once we see a turnaround in this, if you can start to buy US dollar Mexican yen, because a lot of people will be selling US dollar yen, people will be buying gold for sure, and including myself, but this will be a great buy. Dollar Mexican peso, US dollar South African rand. I'm not a big trader at all when it comes to the rand, but one of my members, she's one of the best members in my group, Twanza, shout out to you, you're awesome. We were talking on Instagram today, and she's gone super big into trading the South African rand, and she said, you know, once the risk off happens, once we get this risk off appetite, market sentiment, I'm going to be looking at third world currencies to buy against, and South African rand is going to be a big one too. And the third one that you may not really think about trading much is US dollar, Norwegian krona. So it's been, God, this thing is so oversold right now. It's been getting its butt kicked. For sure, people are selling dollars like crazy, buying Norwegian kronas. And a big part of that is because of the oil market. It's just oil's been climbing. The price of oil's been climbing hard. But we get a move lower in the S&P 500. Those markets seem to correlate pretty well together and run strongly together. And so Norway is a big exporter of oil. So the price of oil drops. And the value of the Norwegian krona would also drop. And this would happen in conjunction with the S&P 500 whenever this does turn around, and hopefully even a bigger correction occurs. Something like this. And this US dollar, Norwegian krona will be a great play as well. So US dollar, MXN, US dollar, Mexican peso, US dollar, ZAR, dollar, South African rand, and US dollar, NOK, Norwegian krona. These are my three sleepers, I guess we'll call them. Could be a very, very profitable investment opportunity. And then once this does happen, I'm going to be the guy down here that's holding for the next year. And because this is only going to go back up eventually, because that's what the U.S. stock market does. It's just as manipulated as anything else, and that's going to be my big play after these play out, this plays out, and these play out. I'm going to be looking to buy the dip like nobody's business. Taking the money that has been accumulated and made through these investments and then going back into S&P 500 once risk on appetite, things start to turn around after this incoming recession that's more than likely about to happen, or at least a huge correction in the market. So I hope you found this video helpful. 3 of my sleeper trades. I think it's, nobody talks about these as much, and I think it's going to be a great opportunity for you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video or in my chat room. If you'd like to be a part of that group, click the link in my bio or the links below, wherever they're at. And we have an amazing community of traders. I do this every single day. I put my heart and soul into helping people and mentoring and just sharing what my thoughts are. And so I'd love for you to be a part of my group, for real. Come here, buddy. What do you say, boy? Huh? He's like, dude, I am ready to get out of here. So am I. It's Sunday. Going to get ready for this market to open. And thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Peace.